Oh god, that's loud. Uh, Hello, welcome to another year of Holly Jolly House. I'm your host as usual, and this is another year. I know it's been a couple of years in between this one and the last one, but I hope you'll forgive me. Think times have been weird, and even if you haven't been aware of it, the Christmas wars have, of course, still been going on. But before we Those instruments are really weird. Before we get to that, I think it's pertinent that we take a look through the holly jolly houses that we've seen so far. So, if you'll indulge me. Where's, okay. Hold on, has technical difficulties. There we go. We're hopping back into 2015 to take a look at a holly jolly gingerbread abode, the original one, the one that started all off. You had the funny pathway. Let's see what else we got here. Funny fruits on the house and a cool snowman with a heart for you. And then inside we had a nice togetherness family scene, very warm and cozy. And they're all by the Christmas tree. And this is what a normal, good year looks like for Christmas, as you're all aware. Then we skip forward to 2016. The house is even nicer. I had all of the cool ingredients at my disposal that I could possibly want for making a beautiful house. The fun Christmas lights on the front. That door still doesn't look good, but the roof took me a long time. We had the blobs of green on the corners, and then Foursquare. Can't forget about that for the kids. However, what's this? The vines, and then you all know this. There's the Christmas kids, because the Christmas giants have begun their war. Fast forward another year and things are not looking so hot. The Christmas minions are littering the forest grounds all over the planet, and it's all up to the doctor of the CDRI and her friend and the funny, mysterious loner in their house to develop a cure for the Christmas minions and turn the remaining Christmas kids back into regular kids and wake them up from their slumber in the Christmas dimension. And I would love to tell you all about what's become of them this year. But first, I think it's time for the review portion. As you know, this is, of course, a review show for gingerbread kits. So this year, I took a look at my local grocery store and I picked up the Gingerbread Village kit. And so you can see it's ready to build, comes with 5 different distinct buildings, and I figured that gave me a lot more creative flexibility. Now, I will note that all of the candies you see here are more than the candies that are included with the pack. You'll pay particular note to the fact that there are a lot of these gummy bits, and there's only like, I don't know, 10 or 12 of those in the actual box. Anyway, more info on the back. The buildings are the Toy Workshop, Chalet, Regular House, Gabled House, and of course, last but not least, building. We've got mini jellies, pucker-ups, multicolored beads, sprinkles, and pre-made icing, as well as some extraneous instructions that no one really needs. Now we'll get to the crux of the issue, what you all clicked this video to see, this year's Holly Jolly House, or should I say, village? Now, I know this might be a whole lot to take in, this magnificent tableau of battlefield, but let me take you through it, and I promise that by the end, you'll know exactly what is going down here in this, the front lines of the Christmas war that nobody's really talking about right now. First of all, it looks like we have found the Christmas children in a very good spot on the front lines. I suppose I should rewind a bit. The doctor and her boyfriend were able to find a cure for the Christmas children, and they were turned back. They were revived from the Christmas dimension, and they received a power-up to become the Christmas champions. They're the frontline soldiers of the Christmas army, and they come in a variety of different skill sets and classes. So reds are the foot soldiers, basic everyday units. The greens have their own little hovercrafts that are very easy to use and good for mobility to get around quickly, zippy zoop. The golds, Christmas children, are the leaders, so they have a lot of leadership skills, and they encourage all of their friends to head into battle and seize the day. The yellows we'll see in a little bit are the doctors, and then the clears are, well, we'll talk about that when we get to them, won't we? So here you see a number of the hovercraft soldiers, as well as a good number of foot soldiers, are routing the enemy into the dark forest, as shown by these lovely gummy trees. So the Christmas minions, just as dastardly as ever, they've even roped in the Christmas creatures, which are these horrible, venomous little monstrosities that if their slime touches you, then within 24 hours you will be sure to turn into a Christmas minion as well and join their horrible ranks. And they're planning to sow chaos all over the world, as they have done for the preceding number of years, due to the unending battle between the good Christmas giant and the dark one. Here we can see the first of several structures on this battlefield. Fortunately, it has not been touched by the ravages of war thus far. We can see that can partially be attributed to the wonderful candy cane structures on the side that are keeping it sort of secure. A number of candy corns are on the roof to give it a spiky exterior to dissuade anyone from climbing to the top, and I guess they're really into Thanksgiving, probably. We'll see the front from another angle shortly. We can see the foot soldiers are headed over to drive them into the woods. Panning over to the right, the next structure, helpfully called building on the box, has suffered a bit of battle damage. You can see that the corner has given way and crumbled onto the ground, and the Christmas children, being very safe, very rigidly regimented, they have already erected a safety barrier around the fallen pieces, and they're trying to figure out with one of the leaders how best to proceed, which is a shame because I think that this roof decoration is nicely color patterned with red and white. But fortunately, the falling debris, no one was injured because of that. We can see another platoon of soldiers are heading this way. They've got one of their clear operatives who are best for stealth, since you can see right through them. They're semi-invisible already, and they're rumored to have powers even beyond that, but no one's really sure. They're very elite. Over here, what's this? That's not a Pop-Tart, my friends. It's a lean-to for the medical tents, and so here's one of the yellows that I was telling you about, as well as some over here. They're parked hovercrafts for use later on. Okay, so in the medical tents, we can see that these trio of doctors are best discussing how to treat their two patients who have just come back from the front lines, a little bit worse for wear. Over here, one of the leaders is briefing a doctor as two others look on, and the leader is carrying one of their brethren over with the help of a foot soldier, and I think that doctor in the back is just taking a nap. Good for them. It's rough out there on the front lines. You can see that this is the lovely centerpiece to the town that they have that has become a battlefield in this confrontation, as well as another hovercraft unit who is carrying a wounded soldier back to the medical tents. Now I'd like to take a look at the front section of the candy corn house from earlier. There's this lovely little path that outlines a connection. It's like a sidewalk between each of these three structures, and I think that's very nice. So over here, unfortunately I have bad news, and it's that the Christmas minions won't give up that easily. In fact, they're planning yet another assault, and they're coming over from the other side, opposite of where they're being driven into the woods, and it seems that they're planning a flanking strike while the Christmas children's back is turned and they're dealing with the other units. So it looks like they've got a whole host of Christmas minions and slimy Christmas creatures, and they're really going to be on the offensive. But what's this? It seems that all of the remaining covert operatives are stationed at strategic intervals here, here, and here in the alleyway, and over here as well behind this house, and hopefully they'll be able to prevent their progress at least until the rest of the units are alerted. And to see what I mean about it being covert operatives, I bet you couldn't even see that guy over there. But he's there. So this house over here is called a toy workshop, but whatever's happening inside, your guess is as good as mine, because it's closed for business. There are these funny dots on the roof, and some fun stripes as well inside the creases, and like a gutter sort of thing. Uh-oh, it looks like this Christmas creature has already climbed to the top and is rearing its ugly head to strike at this leader, which is overseeing the battlefield. Over on this side, you'll be pleased to note this snowman has a funny little hat. And that's very good for him. It's kind of like a beret. This house has really been decked out in some fun roof decorations, very color-coded, all with the greens, as well as the sidewalk path leading out of the front door. The front door on this house has been outlined in icing, which wasn't high priority because it didn't really work very well. That's the other thing about this pack I will note, is that the pre-made icing, I did have to heat it up in water, and the tip did not work. It kind of squirted out the sides, so ultimately I had to cut off of the corner and then use that instead. So unfortunately my lines are not as precise as one might normally expect from my handiwork on this channel. Okay, what's this? It looks like a hovercraft unit is fending off a small skirmish over here, but there's more troubling implications in the fact that this Christmas minion has also figured out how to pilot a hovercraft. So if it survives to pass on that knowledge to its peers, that could spell trouble for the resistance of the Christmas children. Fortunately, there's another platoon headed this way, which could easily turn around to intercept the advancing enemy. So, against all odds, I think I've managed to wrap this... Oh, never mind, we're above 10 minutes. But while I've got you here, I'd just like to point out that is also a cool sort of wall decoration on that house right there on the back side of the toy workshop. And then besides that, I think we have basically hit all of the major facets of this battlefield. So I would just like to slowly pan around, make you aware of all of the beautiful, haunting sort of reverie that's happening in the scenery while I cue up the music. There it goes. It's beautiful. So that's it for another year, and we hope that the Christmas children will be able to be victorious against the evil Christmas minions, and hopefully wherever the good Christmas giant is, they're waging a good battle against the dark Christmas giant, and we will be able to have a good year of Christmas cheer, and we'll be back in 2021 to see the results of the ongoing skirmish. So everyone, just give your thoughts and prayers to the Christmas children on the front lines. They're going through it right now, but one thing's for sure, they won't go down without a good fight. Thank you, everyone. Have a Merry Christmas. Bye!